Hey, what's going on? This video is for week 3 assignment for Ideation. My name's Eric Lackey, and I'll be going through the techniques with you today. Technique 1 we're going to be using is the pain points and the bad customer experience. So, to explain this technique, I'm going to first tell you a little story about the financial advisor team that I just worked with. Currently, I'm trying to get my trying to start a job as a financial advisor, and I have to do a number of training appointments to get to to be a full service advisor. Well, my first one, they recommended I get people in my what they call warm circle, so that I am very comfortable with them and they're comfortable with giving me advice and giving me feedback. Well, chose my parents for this, and did not turn out exactly how I hoped it would. The first point was basically them pitching a business model and ideas to my parents. I didn't say anything about it. I didn't do anything. In their words, the point of this is to get you exposure and to give you a referral source. I did not feel like that happened. I felt like they prodded my parents for contacts and for referrals for them, but nothing was said by me, so no feedback could be given to me. Um, so this is how the bad customer experience comes into play here. So my first problem, identification of the problem, came with there was nothing for me to give feedback on. So there wasn't training that actually happened. So I see that as a big disconnect there, a big problem. And in fact, what I told my parents is that if you can do this for me, it would help me out. And in return, if you would like, you can get a free financial assessment by a professional financial advisor afterwards. What actually happened was more, hey, watch this video, and if they recruit you, cool. If not, sorry for wasting your time. So, big lesson learned for me was the problem that I identified of their training methodology was incorrect. So that's a big exposure right there. Now I'll go to my next technique.
All right, the next technique we're going to go over is called mind mapping. Mind mapping is a technique where you take a category. For instance, our category today will be financial education, and then branch out from there the subcategories that apply to that category. And we'll basically be taking education, which is the main struggle with education is getting students the information in a way that they can retain the information and learn the information. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that education, we're going to look at the VARK model. The VARK model is simply different types of learning styles for each student. Broken down, you have visual, auditory, reading and writing, and kinetic. Right? So the visual learner, they learn best through charts and graphs, and a lot of our concepts and ideas in the financial world is in charts and graphs to make it easier. So that's an easy transition for them. But these are not the only type of people we come into contact with. So, and then one thing we need to touch on is the auditory learner. The auditory learner learns best from the spoken word, and sometimes they prefer to have a discussion. So not just a lecture, they might need to kind of talk it out a little bit. So you might have to have a discussion with them, have a little conversation going on. The next group is the reading and writing. So these people you might want to ask to take notes. They might need an assignment, for instance. You might do your own demonstration and have them write theirs out at the same time. And finally, the last group is the kinesthetic learners. And these learn best through a tactile process. So you might have to bring them through and give them a personal experience and break this down for them a different way than you would the other ones. And finally, not mentioned here is a multimodality, which means there are several different types of people that can, maybe I'm an audio and a visual learner combined, so you need to find a way to touch that type of learner and get them the information by getting them the max amount of exposure as possible. So one big problem, or how we can use this technique in the financial education realm, is we can look at our current education system and materials and see if we're maximizing those materials to hit every single aspect of the VARC model. Generally, you see a lot of charts and graphs. You'll have some types of lectures, maybe some Facebook, YouTube videos. You won't have a lot of kinesthetic learning, and the discussions are generally held on a one-by-one basis. And you almost never see a writing aspect, but you will see a reading aspect. So just looking at the models that we offer for financial education and making sure that we hit all those, and that can help us identify a problem with this technique right there. All right, thank you very much.